Over to swirls on the button. It always says D that comes up, and it messes me up.
On the dealer.
On the
He's
dealer.
on the dealer.
Technically, he is.
Oh, we got a hand developing here. Big Slick versus Queens. Hally gonna definitely put in this 3.
Let's go. Gotta make it 5 or 6x.
How about $700? Let's do it. And Swirl's looking at the best drawing hand in poker outside of it being off suit.
So Swirls is going to 4-bet this, I think. This is the structure of this is where there's going to be a lot of bets in pre because both players think the other has a high chance of raising lighter, I guess, and both player has a monster hand, and so Hally's just going to call.
Let's see a flop. We know what we're thinking. Will we see it? Oh,
King, deuce, queen.
My God.
Top
Let's
for
go.
Swirls and middle set for Hally. 7K effective. How does the money not go in? How are we not playing a $14,000, $19,000 pot? 1,200 into 5,100. 6,300 in this pot. SPR is like a little over 1 for Hally.
Hally gonna let him just keep barreling. 6 of clubs on the turn.
Safe turn card for
Absolutely.
both players, they think. We know it's very safe for Hally. With Swirls, probably feels okay with top.
The stack size a little awkward to pot here to just rip it.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna have to go with probably a sneaky size.
Well, he knows that Hally's got 6K behind, and so if Hally calls any bet on turn, he's basically all in no matter what.
Yes, it is all effective. And a quick call. We're doing it. $20,000 pot right away in the first hour of the stream. Let's see it. We're looking for a river card, and I think he's drawing dead here.
He's absolutely drawing dead.
That's unfortunate. Run it 14 times, dealer.
1 time, he's drawing dead. Yep, yeah. 5 of hearts on the end, and Hally.
It's coming up, Millhouse for Hally.
$19,000 pot with middle set. Pocket queens versus ace king.
Cooler scenario, obviously. Got a feel for Swirls on that one. Really tough to get away from that hand.
Absolutely.
I mean, just a sick cooler is all it really comes down to. Nice hand for Hally, though, as we see Swirls bringing out the Swirls
let's
brick.
go. That is my favorite part of this stream is when dudes just whip out these massive stacks of cash.
Just put it on the rail. Just whip it out and put it on the rail.
Pause.
And scene.
Swirls
oh, no.
raises to 150 with ace-9 of diamonds, and Hally with kings.
And checks for Jim. Are you kidding me? 2 big hands in a row.
Oh, my gosh. Travis dealing out maximum pain already. What an awesome feeling when you flop middle set with queens and look down at kings the next hand. It's like, oh, is this about to be my night, bro?
Oh, and Jim putting in a huge 4-bet. Makes it 2,500 to go. Swirls out of there. Hally looking at kings and a 4-bet.
Unfortunately, 4,700 behind only for Jim V, so I think Hally just rips it here.
Jim thinking, no way can you have a big hand twice in a row here, Hally.
Hally adding almost a stack of high society to his stack. All in.
No way. Just puts Jim all in for 4.7 thousand more.
Jim V knows this is super strong, but it's also brutal because he's only got only quote unquote 4,700 left behind. This is just so rarely a bluff, but I don't know what you're supposed to do. Just call and rebuy.
It's a war zone out here, and Hally looking for all the blood.
He's gonna call
make that call. You're already in for 2.5.
2 full boards. K's versus J's. 14K in the pot.
They're not gonna. Looks like they're not showing yet.
10, 7, 6,
Good for the
8.
Jack so far.
Oh, don't you dare chop it. Okay.
Oh man, nope.
First board goes to Hally.
So Hally free rolling here on the second board.
So everyone knows this is a heater check for Hally right here. King.
Oh, no way. No sweat. Okay, cool. Rock and roll. Yeah, that's going to be it. Hally scoops another all-in pot for $14.5 thousand, 2 in a row.
This is when poker's fun, when you just get the hands and get the results, and you're like, well, I can't finish stacking these chips. They keep coming. I'm literally stacking them and getting new ones as I'm stacking. It's maybe 100 if you're trying to play professionally. And the buy-in being
15,000.
15,000.
10 to 15,000. 15,000 on the high end. I mean, that puts it kind of somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the market.
It's all speculation.
Of course, just speculation.
Each one of these times, you know, Bond could have his entire net worth on the table. Who knows? So this is kind of an interesting board. Open-ended for Tilly. Hally with top and bottom pair. Swirls gets out of the way with 7 high, and it comes a 9. Tilly now with a pair and a straight draw. King, 8, 9, a jack.
Outs, yeah.
Or not a jack, because Hally's already got 2 pair.
Yes, sir.
500. Tilly's got some options. He's got the jack of diamonds as well. He's just calling. And it comes a king, pure for Tilly.
How about Broadway? The nuts, actually.
Hally knows this is a terrible card for him, you know. Or maybe not. No, it's terrible. I was trying to, you know, he's still beating Queen 10 and King 10, I guess. He's been losing to King Jack the whole way. He's been losing to random jacks for sure. Ace Jack got there. And Hally going to bet 700 on the end, and Tilly with the nuts trying to figure out how to get the most. Be interested to see what sizing he makes.
He's going to go up. He's going to make it $2,800.
Over pot, 2,800. He's just like, well, if we're chopping, we're chopping. But if you've got aces and tens, you might be tempted to call me. He knows it's a pretty strong line to raise this river card. You know, he might be thinking, you know, is king, queen overplaying, thinking they sucked out on me with the naked ace, but this board is so connected. Diamonds bricked off, but even some of the diamonds that are drawing got there on the end. Hally really in the tank. He's curious, and he does call. Tilly, once again, getting the absolute max. Another $7,400 pot for Tilly, and he's probably up close to 10,000 now. Wow, look at this board as well. 10s and 8s for Tilly, pair and an open-ender for Rom, and Hally was just ace high and backdoor hearts. Rom's going to bet it. Middle pair and open-ender. Tilly with 10s and 8s. Bet and got raised by Rom on the button. This is a very coordinated board. Tilly might just elect to call. Because, you know, there's some straights out there that flopped, and the straight just gets there for Rom.
That's absolutely no sweat.
And Tilly knows this card is an absolute disaster. Now Rom with the bottom end of the straight.
Drawing to boat up or drawing to chop is Tilly. Rom is going to go ahead and bet 1.8 thousand.
1,800 into 2,500. Hand might be too strong to fold for Tilly. Just calls and a 4. This sucks for Tilly.
That really sucks.
6,100 in the pot, 4-liner to a straight. Tilly's not putting a single dollar in this hand in the pot one.
Folding to $100. Maybe.
And Rom might check back on the off chance that Tilly, because Tilly's not calling with worse, and you puke if you get check raised on this board, but I don't know if that's correct at all.
He just rips it.
This is interesting because the only thing that calls here is a queen. This gives Tilly the opportunity to fold all of his 2 pairs pretty confidently, but maybe Rom, having a background with Tilly, is trying to make this look like a bluff and get Tilly to call with hands like this. This is an interesting bet from Rom. This isn't a slam dunk call or fold. I mean, like Rom and Tilly, I think, have hours together. And so there's definitely some metagame at play where Rom knows that Tilly is going to read into the sizing. Right. And
So
what raises flop? That's got diamonds. King, queen of diamonds that just drilled it on the turn. I don't know.
I mean, you're not blocking 9-8 of diamonds.
You're not beating any
But you're
sets.
also beat by 9-8 of diamonds.
A set of 9s, set of 10s also raises flop, I think.
Yeah,
But
he is thinking really hard about this one. Oh,
and he
he's going to make
calls.
the call. Rom gets paid off. Are you kidding me? $15,000 going Rom's direction. He leveled himself.
This was really a true leveling war that got Tilly to call 2 kings for Brian. If you don't like us, you got to like 2 kings. After Kyle's E3 bet button with Jack 10 of spades. And this is going to be an easy fold for Kyle Z, I think. This is a super strong line from Brian in the small blind.
We smacked that light goal. Let's go as we got this 4-bet pot brewing.
Let's go. Well, I stand corrected. JD is going. I said JD. Kyle Z is going to complete. And it comes Jack
disaster.
High. Oh, no, not again.
Oh, my goodness. Brian, kings, an overpair to the board. Kyle Z sitting at Jack 10 of spades. No redraw, just top pair.
4,100 in this pot, and
Lordy
Brian
Lou.
bets 1,300. 1,400, excuse me. And Kyle Z with top pairs in a very unfortunate position we get to see. I don't think he's raising ever, but yeah, he's not folding as it comes to 4 diamonds on the turn.
Oh, my goodness. Brian going to continue here, and he's going to have to go slowly if he wants to get any money from Kyler. It's going to look pretty sneaky. How many hands are really continuing here? Outside of the big pocket pairs, 3K is the bet. Can Kyle Z get away from it? He looks him up. He's looking up Brian right now, saying, is there a way?
So Kyle Z knows that Brian is maybe one of the more straightforward players, and so he's thinking less and less about his Jack 10 hand, and this board is very safe for kings. 13,000 in the pot, and Brian's going to rip it.
What an unbelievable shove here. 8.7 thousand. Can Kyle Z call it off with top pair 10 kicker?
Only got 5,400 behind in a $21,000 pot with top pair. He can't imagine that Brian's got any kind of jacks. He's not worried about that. He's just wondering if, like, how often Brian has ace king, ace queen here. Maybe pocket 10s or 9s, but I don't know. And he calls.
Makes the call. It's the wrong call in hindsight. 23.6K going Brian's way with a couple Ks.
Wow, 24,000 US dollars. And Kyle Z just couldn't get away from it.
It's going up to 800 bucks with the aces for Rom until he's got queens.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. It's back to Tilly facing a 3-bet from an aggressive player. What do you do in the cutoff? Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is
hard to imagine.
It sucks when the deck just sets it up to where the same guy.
Oh, and there's blood in the water.
Is just going to. I mean, how do you.
Oh, my goodness. He's putting in the 4 up to $2,200. Rom's just salivating.
Tilly at a minimum appreciates that Swirl's folded, so he got him heads up how he wanted, but Rom.
Is Rom going to give him a chance to get out of this pot by ripping it with the 5?
Sometimes it just feels like a player has your number, and unfortunately it's just the cards. And every hand is independent. The deck doesn't care who you are. But sometimes it just feels like you don't have a partner.
These players just got into it on a huge all-in pot.
23,000 in the last pot, right?
These two, I believe, played a 15K pot. It was the Jack, or excuse me, it was the straight
15K, not 23. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah,
that was the Kyle Z hand.
Yes,
yep.
yes. Big hand from earlier.
God,
Rom took it down. Is Rom? He's gonna give him a chance to get out of it. He rips it.
I think it's a 5-bet.
No, I mean, I think Tilly's only got
Oh,
8.8
sorry.
back. So, I mean, this should be an
I
effective
didn't realize how
all-in.
many pinks he had. Yeah,
Yeah.
10-3.
Oh, no. Actually, he has a little bit behind. $700 behind. Well, that's awkward.
So he just calls 81.
Well, let's see if he gets to keep 700 on this flop. Or maybe win it all. Anything could happen here. There's already 21K in the middle.
They are not all in. Deuce,
Oh boy.
deuce, 8.
Yeah, that's the last 725. So. All right, now we're officially all in, and it's a 22K pot officially. Trying to a
King.
queen. That's
Oh,
not
that
it.
was pain.
Oh, I thought it was
Queen! Oh!
Jesus.
Queens full of deuces. DQ asked for one-time max pain, and we got it, baby. 22,300. Sorry for screaming, but that seemed very unlikely.
What a sick river. Are you kidding me?
And now it's oddly quiet.
Rom's
on the
ace is
table.
up in flames till he gets redemption from the last all-in pot.
Maximum redemption. And this, my friends, is why we are not shy and we re-buy. Man, sometimes these games will maybe have like one $20,000 pot. We've had it like at least one an hour, which feels pretty entertaining as Tilly opens one better, 5s. Brian's got ace-king on the button. 3 bets to 600. Rom's got aces.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me?
And he's got
Why'd
13.
you say that, Ben?
Ben,
why did you say that?
I mean, look, we're in the business
It
of
wasn't my
entertainment.
fault.
We are in the business of entertainment, and
It
I'm
wasn't my
trying to
fault.
induce as much action as possible.
I washed my hands of it. It wasn't me. But I'm going to enjoy it anyway.
Brian 3-betting to 600. I think there's some question about whether or not Rom put enough chips out to raise. Yeah, I think you can make it 1,100. What's the math? Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's a real raise.
Yeah.
It's just the min.
Tilly immediately folds, and look at this. I mean, 12K effective, ace-king suited versus aces, facing a 4-bet. Brian knows that Rom's been mixing it up.
He's already 5-bet. He's already 5-bet.
Oh,
The action tracker was just slow.
So Brian 5-bet 3,600, and Rom with aces again.
Oh my goodness.
And action back to him. He's like, wow, people really just don't believe me.
But this is a massive possible 6-bet shove if he wants to make it. You want to get it in there against the ace-kings of the world.
Rom checking his cards once again, putting on a great show for everyone. A lot of cool guys in the background arguing about something. And Rom gonna just call. He wants all of Brian. Well, he wants the full double.
Wow.
So now Rom's deciding to play this a little differently.
We're going to a flop. It's going to be hard to have ace-king connect here with 2 aces for Rom. Can he get it? Jack-high board. Looks like Brian might save some money. No spades.
8. When Rom checks over to Brian, though, Brian's going to feel compelled to maybe c-bet to try to take it down here. But this board, he doesn't know what to do, it looks like.
Is there a chance that Rom has ace-queen here?
7,400 in this pot, and Brian's got a huge stack. And he's going to bet 4,500, and Rom.
You're going to have to play it slow, buddy.
This is
right. He rips it, and Brian gets to save some money.
9,600 more, or sorry, 5,100 more. Yeah, I think he is priced in 4-1, but
if you think your overs are live, you're priced in.
Yeah,
but if you don't think, if you think your aces are dead, I don't think.
Guess you're doing okay against queens, but versus kings or aces, we get to see how behind he is.
I mean, ace-queen is never ripping it over you here, so.
And he calls.
Flicking that
it's a math call, I think. Rom says I go once, Max Payne.
All right, well, Max Payne it is. Let's see. We need to see a miracle here for Brian. Deuce is not drawing dead. A massive pot here for Rom.
And just like that, Rom is back on top, 26,600. He was just down to like pennies. He rebought, gets aces, and gets the absolute full double up from Brian.